Hi, I'm Laurelyn Vasquez with Beyond Technology Education, and welcome to BTE's onboarding video series. Today we're going to talk about our K through 8 computer science and digital literacy curriculum. We have grade-specific curriculum K through 8 that gives your students an in-depth, age-appropriate computer science as well as digital literacy skills needed to succeed in today's ever-changing world. We know that tech's always changing, and we're here to help with continually updating curriculum for your students. Our curriculum is divided into 4 units. The first unit is creative content, where they learn to create GIFs and have fun and understand the idea of blogging and creating great images. Second unit is encoding, and this is fantastic. It digs right into our computer science, learning everything about the inside outsides of computers, as well as how to actually code. The third unit is our data analysis and data visualization, making those pivot charts as well as others to help us truly understand the data that we have collected and interpreting it. And our last unit is on presentations. And our presentations includes a slide deck as well as vlogging and screen capturing for our older students. In front of us, we have our first grade curriculum, and all of our grades are laid out in the same format. So I just choose for first grade to go over with us today. So here is the cover of our curriculum. I'm going to scroll down. One of the things that I absolutely love about our digital curriculum is that we link to all the different projects that you have. So if you already know exactly where you're going to want to go, you're just going to click on this number over here, and it is going to hyperlink right to your project. If you go, nope, this is not where I want to be, then you can scroll down to the end of that page, go right to the hyperlink on the table of contents, and it takes you right back up to the top. So we're going to just scroll on down to see what all is in the first few pages of our curriculum. And as you'll see right here on this next page, page 3, we have an overview of it. We tell you what the primary technology is that the students are learning, the theme that they're going to be going over. This helps us come up with our projects, what the students are going to do that makes it applicable and fun for them. And then every single grade in each unit, the different projects that are there, K through 8. Next, we have our standards. So BTE follows 3 different standards. One is ISTE standards. These are our national standards that we abide by, and all of our projects will meet one or more of these standards. Then next we have the BTE standards, and this is one of the things that makes us unique. So we have compiled the standards from all of the states that have standards. Not all states have standards, but the states that do have standards, we've compiled together, and we've chosen the most common ones, or we've added the ones that we think are some of the top-notch important standards. So there's quite a few of them. So we've gone through and compiled. Here are the standards for the first grade that we are going to meet in this curriculum. And then we have our NET standards for first grade. So those are the 3 standards that we are going to be meeting. And then our next page takes us to the beginning of Unit 1. And at the beginning of every unit, we have a parent letter created for you. You will find the link to this parent letter in our links and resources page that you also got when you purchased our curriculum. So this letter is a letter that, of course, you can personalize as much as possible, but we feel it's really important to communicate with the parents about what is happening in the lab every single unit that you do. So I would encourage you to communicate even more, send home the different projects that they have, but we've given you a unit letter for the beginning of every unit to send home to the parents. This is just a welcome. You personalize it with your own school's name, how many minutes are in the class, put your teacher name there. And then we have the theme that the students are going to be going over in first grade. This is becoming a goal getter, and we're going to be learning about leaving a healthy digital footprint. And then here's the primary and secondary computer skills and the tools that they're going to be using. Then we have the layout, and this is really important. Our curriculum is divided into 3 different sections. We really believe on having a beginning, a middle, and an end. That's part of our philosophy or pedagogy of teaching. And within that, there's always a beginning, middle, and end, right? So we have our opening, which is about 10 minutes. And in this opening, we will give you a guided script that you can use, or again, personalized. And this is the overview, the purpose of the project, and what it is the students are going to be doing that day. Then you're going to have the actual project. When you're done with the project, you will have a recap and asking students, what did they learn today? What was exciting about today? What's something that they would like to learn next time they come to the lab? But then we always try to end our lab time, depending on how much time you have in your class and your typing time or your computer time, with 10 minutes of typing. Students as young as kindergarten can start learning their letters, and it helps to reinforce their letters and reading by learning how to type. And it's really has been shown to be effective for students. And then as well as the upper grades, learning the proper finger placement. And so we've given you some ideas for different typing programs you can use as well. So that's how our curriculum is divided as an overview. And then now let's get into our actual curriculum. So you'll see here, Project 1, it's on goal setting, first grade, Unit 1, Project 1. The project length, this is going to be about 3 or 4 classes. So this is going to be your first approximate month in the computer lab. You're going to be instructor notes here. You need to create and customize your Canva class. There's a link right to know how to do it. Here's the templates that you're going to need that students will be using in that first month of classes. We've got a keyboard introduction. We're teaching students how to troubleshoot and introduction into computers. They're going to be learning about the inside and outside of computers. These first graders were in this first project. So here we have our standards that are listed. Often more standards are listed, but we just grabbed some of the top ones for you. And here's what I was talking about being scripted out. So here's our opening. Welcome the students to technology class. Reflect on the summer and various student experiences. Talk about what it means to use technology. Ask, what technology do you use every day? Discuss how students did first grade 30 years ago and longer. And answer the question with your students, how did people live and work before and after the adoption of new computing technologies? So this is one of the standards that we're actually meeting, is discussing how technology continues to change. What was technology like in the past, and where are we present and moving in the future? Then we go into our character theme, becoming a goal getter introduction, and there's a little script on that. And then the Canva and the project. Here in our exploration section, we always try to give you a video or two that you can show. I would encourage you to watch that video ahead of time to make sure it's appropriate for your class and your setting. Then we have some additional emphasis that you might want to talk about, especially these first graders, such as the shift key, how to do a capital letter. They're going to forget if they did this in kindergarten, and you're going to be reminding them about the backspace and the delete keys and the scroll bars. Here's the learning outcomes that students will have, and then we get to the actual project. And here it is laid out step by step for you. Now, when we teach our students, we're not going to tell them step by step, click here, click there, but we're going to be using what we call the I wonder statements. So we're going to be asking the students, I wonder, what do I use to move objects on my screen? And they're going to, oh, you use a mouse or a trackpad. I wonder how people learned technology 10 years ago. Was there a mouse or a trackpad? And you're going to be prompting them to explore and to use their little minds to answer questions. And so we find that that's really important. When you're teaching students, for example, how to make a capital letter, you're not going to just say, hey, for every capital letter, we need to use the shift key at the same time as the letter. Instead, you want students to explore and maybe pull from past knowledge. I wonder how I would make the first letter of my name a capital. Does anybody have any ideas? And that may seem really childish, but that's first grader. And then when we get up into the middle school ages, I'm still asking the same thing. Hey, class, remind me, how is it that I change my background? How is it that I add another slide? How is it that and we're getting them to answer questions, and then at the same time as teaching the students that don't know. So here you have your step-by-steps that goes through, and you're going to want to be able to do this project. And then basic troubleshooting is a section of it, how to use the mouse and trackpad. And this project, remember, it's going to take you 3 to 4 weeks depending on the ability of your students. Then we get into the Canva project, letter, location, and recognition. This is actually going to be part of your typing time in this first week. We've got some typing introduction right there. Then your wrap up, we have a little script for you for a wrap up that you can use. And then for your extended learners, this last section for our early finishers, they can do what is suggested in this little section. And I would recommend you don't move to this extended section until you've done the project. There are in some of the projects fun extensions for kids to do, and teachers and students sometimes might want to just jump to that extended lesson. But remember, we're hitting the standards and we're making sure that we've got our basics learned before we go into the extended lesson. And then at the very last, for every project, we give you the template version and then the sample version, so you can have an idea of what this project's going to look like at the end. And that is how every single project works. You'll see that I go down here to the next project, project 2, and it's the same outline: notes, engage, exploration, where the videos would be, additional emphasis, learning outcomes, the project. Then we go to reflections. Whoops, went too fast. Reflections and extended learning.